So, Wes, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la.
Yeah, dude, it's the most wonderful time of the year here at the Bizarre Show. Well, no, our most wonderful time of the year is October.
It's our second most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, it's now that October and November have passed. We are in the holiday cheer spirit, sir.
That's right. We're gearing up for Xmas.
I got pictures of baby Jesus all over my place.
Christmas, which means that you and I are going to be talking about some fun holiday horror Christmas films, because that's what we do here.
Define fun. If rape is fun, then this will be a blast.
So to kick off the Christmas season, we are going to start off December with the one, the only, the classic to some, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
We're not going to pull any punches. This is a trash movie that we're going to try to make some fun of.
Silent Night, Deadly Night is a 1984 American psychological slasher film directed by Charles E. Sellier Jr. I butchered that name, I know I did.
That's okay, nobody cares.
The story concerns a young man named Billy who suffers from post-traumatic stress over witnessing his parents' murder on Christmas Eve by a man disguised as Santa Claus, and his subsequent upbringing in an abusive Catholic orphanage. In adulthood, the Christmas holiday leads him into a psychological breakdown, and he emerges as a spree killer donning a Santa suit.
Accurate.
It grossed $2.5 million on a budget of $750,000.
This is a very rapey movie, everyone.
It is.
To those that have not watched it yet, that are listening or watching, wow.
So, Wes, what is your history with this film?
Don't have one, man. This was like on a list that I was reading about, like on a website. It said if you like dumb 80s horror movies, like especially slasher type movies, then just watch this. So I did. Like I always say, I think the first time I saw it was not alone, probably with a buddy or two or three, probably having a few beers, and just probably laughed our asses off with it. I used to think this movie is funny and a kind of a good movie for being so horrible and trashy. We'll see if that holds up. How about you, Sean? Do you have a history with this movie?
I first saw this movie in the 6th grade.
Way too young.
I rented it with my buddy Eric. We took it home. We were both super excited because we thought this is going to be somewhere in the vein of like a Halloween movie. And
Surprise.
We both hated it. And I haven't watched it since.
So let's talk about them going to see the grandpa.
Our movie begins in 1971. 5-year-old Billy Chapman and his family go to visit a nursing home in Utah where his catatonic grandfather stays.
Or so we are meant to believe.
When Billy remains alone with him for a few minutes, his grandfather suddenly awakens and tells Billy to fear Santa Claus.
Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year. Santa Claus only brings presents to them that's been good all year. All the other ones, all the naughty ones, he punishes.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude.
It is so over the top and stupid.
Did you laugh when you saw it?
Of course.
I audibly laughed. I LOL'd. It was just a really funny scene and really, really poorly acted. So it doesn't really get any better than this. No. This is the highlight. So if you see Santa Claus and you weren't a good boy,
you're fucked.
You better go run for your life. And then the parents walk back in. He snaps back into his catatonic state.
Yeah, he goes right back to it. Yep. So maybe it is. Maybe it's the long con. Who knows, man?
The long con of him being silent for years, only to have that moment with little Billy.
Elsewhere, a man dressed in a Santa outfit holds up a gas station and kills the clerk for $31.
$31, baby.
31 bucks. Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas, he says.
Merry fucking Christmas, $31. That's a big win in my book, baby.
While the family is driving back, they see him seemingly having car trouble, and he gets Billy's family's attention. As they pull over to help, he pulls out a gun. The father throws the car in reverse, but the Santa-clad criminal shoots him right through the window.
And first off, Billy was already terrified of Santa Claus, right? He didn't want to see Santa Claus anymore. So he said,
screaming not to stop.
Yeah, don't stop. And he's like, oh, well, he must have been going to a party. So we're going to have to stop and help him out.
Billy runs off to hide, leaving his baby brother Ricky in the car.
His name is Little Baby Ricky.
Little Baby Ricky. This is one of many uncomfortable moments in the film.
It's the first one.
The first one. The killer forcibly removes the mother and attempts to rape her and just slashes her throat.
Yeah, and so now boobies and Christmas are going to scare him for the rest of his life.
3 years later, in December of 1974, 8-year-old Billy and 4-year-old Ricky are celebrating Christmas in an orphanage where he draws a pretty dark picture. and the sisters find it unacceptable.
Would it have killed them to find a kid who even looked a little bit like the original Billy? He looked it was awful.
They could have done a lot of things, Wes.
I expect that answer. You are correct, sir. That is the correct answer.
He is brought before Mother Superior, played wonderfully, I have to say, by the late Lilyan Chauvin, who is way too good for this movie.
Yeah, she does a really, really good job at making you fucking hate that person, and it's really over the top and great. And she somehow, even though she doesn't kill anybody, she's the worst person in this movie.
She is a strict disciplinarian who persistently strikes children who misbehave and considers punishment to be, quote, necessary and a good thing.
I'm on board.
Sister Margaret, the only one who sympathizes with the children, tries to help Billy play with the other children, but on his way outside, he hears a strange noise and looks through one of the door's keyholes.
Yes.
Yes, he does. He sees two people fuck.
Yeah, he sees making whoopee on the bed. Yeah.
Now, are we supposed to know who these two people are? They were never introduced before, were they?
They're older. I have no idea. He's enthralled with what's going on.
Yeah, he is, but then he starts having flashbacks.
Yeah. Flashback boobies.
He and those two filthy devils are caught by Mother Superior, and they get a whooping, and so does poor Billy.
Yeah, like mid-coitus whooping.
On Christmas morning, the orphanage invites a man in a Santa Claus suit to visit the children. Billy gets dragged by Mother Superior, and he punches the man with a strong as shit left hook for an 8-year-old.
That's her version of like some kind of like how to treat his trauma is to throw him on the.
Is to force him to face it. Yeah.
She did not major in psychology.
No, she did not. He flees to his room in horror, and we get a freeze frame with Mother Superior saying, William! William!
William!
10 years later, in the spring of 1984, Billy turns 18 and leaves the orphanage to find a normal life and obtains a job as a stock boy at a local toy store thanks to Sister Margaret.
The good sister, yeah. She's like, the guy's talking about how he needs a man, not a boy, to move these boxes around and lift all this stuff. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, you wouldn't want a boy, would you? Well, let me introduce you real quick. Billy, come on out. And unveils like a Playgirl model. It's like he looks like he's like a 25-year-old like model.
I think he probably was in real life, that actor.
Because he really couldn't act. So
not a fucking lick, no.
So this store owner lays his eyes on the man meat that is Billy, and he's like, oh well, sure, yeah, let's go ahead and you can start Monday, 9:00 sharp.
At first, things are going great. Billy's life, for the first time in a long time, seems to finally be on track. We get a montage of Billy just being the best toy store employee set to the cheesiest Full House-esque music I've ever heard.
On the warm side of the door.
It's fucking awful.
It's really bad. And my favorite part was when not Joe Pesci offers him a scotch, he lifts up, in kind of a sitcom-y way, a carton of milk.
Now, despite everything going splendidly, Billy still can't fully shake the memories of that night when he was a kid.
He's also dealing with that asshole, not Joe Pesci. That little guy he looks like my cousin Vinny.
And I'm gonna level with you. When you came here a couple of months ago, you were an all right kid. But all of a sudden, you got this fucking attitude problem.
And also, Billy's like thinking like this really cute girl that works there, she might kind of like me. I kind of like her. She seems really nice and she's nice to him.
And that lady's name is Pamela, who Billy does eventually develop a crush on. And he has sexual thoughts regarding her, which are often interrupted by morbid visions.
You could see his hairy ass. He needs to manscape his bottom.
On Christmas Eve, the employee who plays the store Santa Claus has been injured the night before, and as a result, Billy's boss, Mr. Sims, makes him take his place.
Do you have any idea what you're doing? You're being naughty. I don't bring toys to naughty children. I punish them severely.
What was he doing? He got injured.
He was playing hockey.
No, he was ice skating.
Well, ice skating.
Yeah.
He was ice skating.
What are you, Canadian, you Canuck?
After the store closes, the staff has a Christmas Eve party.
Let's get shit-faced.
I laughed at that. That was pretty good.
Dude, that's another LOL moment.
Billy, still dressed in a Santa Claus suit, tries to have a good time at the party, but he keeps having memories of his parents' murders, causing him to feel depressed.
Yeah, of course. And he's dressed up like the one thing that really freaks him out. Not Joe Pesci. My cousin Vinny is trying to coax back not Diane Franklin into the back to give her a present, right?
Yes. We did not know at the time, but that present was his dick.
Yeah, it was. Well, I think I had a pretty good idea. And it takes about 5 minutes for Billy to walk back there as he's having like weird thoughts, right? I mean, it took way too long for him to. But once he is back there, we can audibly hear not Diane Franklin pleading with not Joe Pesci to stop. And he kind of walks back in there and they don't see that he's looking at him. And he rips open her blouse. And this triggers Billy into like, okay, well, this reminds me of what happened to my mom's boobs back in the day. Let's do some flashback boob action.
Psychologically triggers his insanity, and he hangs Andy with a string of Christmas lights and uttering that punishment is, quote, necessary and good, and then he stabs Pamela with a utility knife.
And so he murders both of them, and now we are in full-blown Billy mode.
A highly intoxicated Mr. Sims goes into the back room to check on the noises he heard. Just when he is about to leave, Billy murders him with a hammer. Billy turns off the store's lights, causing his manager, Mrs. Randall, to go check out the back room. She screams at the sight of Mr. Sims' corpse and tries to call the police, but Billy cuts the phone line using a double-bit axe, causing her to run and hide.
Yeah, she goes running. I believe at some point she gets to Billy finds her and she starts kind of trying to get out. And all of a sudden there's a bow and arrow in play. And she does get a bow and arrow in the back. And that's probably his most creative kill. So now he is off on his own and he's on the loose.
As Sister Margaret discovers the carnage, she screams in horror as we get shots of nutcrackers with their mouths open, which I thought was kind of funny.
It's a great shot.
Which you can't really say a lot in this movie. As carolers carol, a familiar face is making out with her boyfriend Tommy.
Is it Linnea Quigley?
It's Linnea Quigley.
This is the only consensual sexual scene that we see in the movie. By the way, who gets a babysitter on Christmas Eve?
Really shitty parents.
Very much so.
And they are babysitting a little girl named Cindy, who's being a real cockblock. When Denise goes upstairs to let the cat in, she is attacked by Billy, and after a short struggle, she is impaled on a pair of deer antlers.
Which, by the way, are not sharp enough to do that.
No, and the deer head would not be strong enough to hold up her body. I wouldn't think. It's like the knife in Halloween.
2 ball in the corner pocket, then he doesn't hear it because he's listening to music.
Hey, Denise!
Yeah.
It's not the first time in this movie that a murder has been drowned out by some very low playing music.
Yeah, I know. When Tommy goes to check on her, when he first enters the room, he does not see right away the fully grown woman hanging from the wall to his right.
No.
He walks past her and doesn't notice it.
But he notices that something's not right, that he all of a sudden kind of slowly turns around, and then now he's freaked out.
Now he sees the dead body.
Yeah, and then Billy's still around.
He too is attacked by Billy. At first, he holds his own pretty well with a fire poker, and he even manages to knock Billy down the stairs. But unfortunately for him, Billy comes back, and after trying to strangle him with an extension cord, he throws Tommy out of the window, where he gets a large piece of glass stuck right in his stomach.
Of course. What else could happen? And then all of a sudden we get...
Little Cindy Lou Who. Do you think the name is a coincidence?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Why not?
When little Cindy Lou Who wakes up, Billy confronts her and asks her if she has been nice or naughty. She says...
Been nice or naughty?
And what does she say?
I've been nice.
All year?
Yes.
You haven't been naughty once.
No, Santa Claus.
Well, because of this, he gives her the utility knife he had used
It's a box
earlier.
cutter.
Merry Christmas, little girl. She is visibly confused by what he gave her. After this, we find out Sister Margaret has gone to the police, and 2 officers are out looking for him. They come across a Santa entering a window using a ladder, and they burst in, but it's just a false alarm.
It's a dad.
Yep, it's a kid's father just being old Saint Nick.
Yeah, and one of the best jokes in the movie is when they're talking about it, and they said, yeah, the chief wants us to go find Santa Claus. What's next? The Easter Bunny?
Billy witnesses two bullies picking on two sledding teenage boys. They steal their sleds and head down the hill. Billy decapitates one of the bullies with his axe as the other screams in horror.
How do we say that on this show? His kappa was dictated.
It's the kid. Oh, fuck. Hang on. Okay. Billy, kappa his dictated?
He dictates his kappa.
He dictates one of the bullies' kappas with his axe.
See, at the crossroads, these guys, it's a pretty funny, dumb, stupid scene.
The next morning, Sister Margaret has a chat with Captain Richards, and she tries to explain who Billy is so they can predict his next move. She realizes he's heading back to the orphanage.
They have a guy on it.
Officer Barnes.
We're going to call him not Steve Buscemi.
Richards calls not Steve Buscemi out to St. Mary's, and when he arrives, a deaf pastor, Father O'Brien, who is dressed...
Who the fuck is Father O'Brien?
who is dressed in a Santa outfit, is mistakenly shot by Barnes, mistaking him to be Billy, in front of all the now horribly traumatized children.
I gave him plenty of warning.
He's
Yeah,
deaf!
but he's deaf. And not Steve Buscemi is like, well, how am I supposed to know that? He killed a deaf priest, which is, by the way, my next band's name, Deaf Priest.
After locking everything up, Mother and the children sing Christmas carols while Officer not Steve Buscemi goes outside looking for Billy.
He finds him in some kind of shed.
Yeah, not Steve Buscemi is axed by Billy in the chest. And then he decapitates a snowman, which I found to be really rude.
How do you say that again?
He kappa a snowman's dictata, which I found really ruda.
Wait, I don't know what you just said.
Due to his Santa outfit, Billy gains access into the orphanage and confronts Mother Superior, now in a wheelchair. She taunts Billy due to her disbelief in Santa Claus. And just as he prepares to kill her with his axe, Richard appears and shoots him in the back, much to Sister Margaret's shock.
Yeah, she's the real victim here.
Yep, so that's two people these children have seen killed today. As the dying Billy lays on the ground, he utters to the nearby children, "You're safe now. Santa Claus is gone," before succumbing to his wounds. As the children gather around, a 14-year-old Ricky, coldly staring at Mother Superior, utters, "Naughty."
Naughty.
Little baby Ricky says naughty.
Stinger, freeze frame, cut to credits, and that, Wes, is how the movie ends.
Santa's watching, Santa's creeping, Santa's something.
All right, Wes, what are your final thoughts and gradings on Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Sean, this is a really hard one to grade because it's so bad, it's almost good, but it's not good. I've given a lot of bad grades to better movies. I'll give it a C+, just for the fact that it's so fucking stupid. It made me laugh out loud a couple times. I don't know, Sean. I have a thing for these dumb 80s movies. My consistency with my ratings are 0. I have no consistency. So what do you think, Sean? How say you, sir?
I'm going to rate this thing a C+. This movie's fine. I saw this.
You said it so reluctantly.
It's fine. Like I said, I saw it when I was in 6th grade. I didn't like it then. Rewatching it now, it's stupid. It's cheesy. It's everything I like, but it's too dark. It's too rapey. I just don't feel very good after watching it. It's a competently bad movie, but it's just too dark for my liking. So.
Punish!
Finish him! Fatality.
Mondays, am I right? The Bizarre Show is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
And I won't need no more on the one side of the door.
On the next Bizarre Show.
Looks like Martha Stewart threw up in here.
Hey, it's Sean from The Bizarre Show. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, give it a like and make sure you subscribe. We have more videos on the way. Cheers!